The Railgun, one of the most unique and powerful weapons in Helldivers 2, capable of destroying a ridiculous range of enemies, charging its shots, and even blowing up yourself if you're not careful. My name is Red Monster Thing, but you can call me Red, and today I want to talk about the Railgun in Helldivers 2. Now, the Railgun is a support weapon that has been in the game since launch, and originally it got its reputation for being one of the only viable weapons in Helldivers 2. Of course, let's not kid ourselves. The Railgun used to be broken due to a bug, and it was kind of a good weapon by complete accident. So naturally, the game devs, doing game dev things, nerfed the weapon into the dirt. But since then, the Railgun has received numerous changes, making it much stronger than that original nerf state. And now, it would seem that the Railgun is once again a viable option for Helldivers 2 combat. But the reality is a lot more nuanced than that. You can acquire it using 10,000 requisition slips on your ship, which is kind of a refreshing change of pace for a weapon I'm covering on this channel, because now I get to talk about a weapon that is not part of a war bond. It has 600 standard damage and 225 durable damage. But keep in mind, this is for every uncharged shot. The unique thing about the Railgun and its playstyle is that if you hold down the trigger, it rapidly increases in damage, all the way up to 250% more damage. Which, I'm not a math guy, but that's a lot of damage. For most enemies, holding down your shot isn't really necessary. But for enemies like tanks, war striders, factory striders, impalers, chargers, and bile titans, you may have to use many fully charged shots. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a great way to get carpal tunnel syndrome. What I will say about this before moving on is that where you aim is crucial to making these enemies go down quickly. Yeah, that's right. The Railgun is a gun where you actually need to aim to get the most out of it. Best spots to aim are the vents on tanks, eyes on hulks and war striders, the chin guns on factory striders, the legs for chargers and impalers, and the head for bile titans. Yes, it may require you to hit all of these enemies multiple times with charged shots, so be very quick not to explode yourself in the process. Now it has 20 spare rounds, giving you a total of 21 shots. Which honestly isn't a lot, but if you can save your shots for bigger targets, the Railgun can last you entire matches. You could bring something like the supply pack or siege ready, but I know a lot of you hate it when I recommend these items. Let's just say this weapon is still worth it without the supply pack or other ammo modifiers. But you may have to find ammo boxes at POIs if you aren't careful with how you place your shots. Now, it handles exactly the same as the spear gun and AMR. It's not the most snappy gun in the world, but it is enough to quickly aim at small weak points. Its recoil doesn't really matter thanks to firing only one shot at a time, and its sway can be completely neutralized if you lay prone. Honestly, the Railgun is one of the better handling support weapons we have in our arsenal, all things considered, which makes it fantastic for shooting in quick scenarios where you're surrounded. It may be a precise weapon, but at least it doesn't punish you for trying to aim with it. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, consider leaving a like. If you're on mobile, please hype the video. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. We just hit 12,000 subscribers, which is more than a tenth to 100K. And me telling you guys what my favorite color is. Now, the Railgun is comparable to the AMR and the spear gun, where all three are capable of hitting certain breakpoints, but the Railgun sits somewhere in the middle of these two other weapons. The AMR feels like a fantastic sniper rifle that excels on the bot front, especially against hulks and rocket striders at long range. But its main purpose is to spam bullets down range at very smaller heavy dollar luber units. What did I say there? But its main purpose is to spam bullets down range at smaller heavy units, and is obviously not something that is really intended to go up against something like a factory strider or bile titan. The spear gun is a crowd control menace with limited ammo. It's capable of shutting down spawners if you shoot it in the vents, doors, or holes. Thanks to its gas effect, it's even capable of killing a bunch of enemies nearby your target. And its stagger interrupts war striders and even bile titans. The Railgun sits in the middle with less utility than the spear gun and less ammo than the AMR, but with much more damage for compensation. However, all three feel perfectly balanced alongside each other, so it's only a matter of preference about which of the three you want to use. Now against the bugs, you will mainly want to use the railgun against chargers and impalers. Make sure to shoot at their legs, because once their flesh is exposed, you can take them down quickly. Against Biotitans, it can take 3 or more shots to the head to kill. While it may not seem ideal, that isn't exactly a bad breakpoint considering the amount of shots you have in total. You will mainly be using the railgun for heavy enemies against the bugs, so make sure you bring a primary weapon that can handle crowds. There isn't a single specific loadout I recommend for the railgun, since it can honestly fit in so many different combinations, but if I could recommend a primary, I would recommend the Breaker Shotgun or the Trident from Siege Breakers if you have it. I usually like to take the Shield Generator Backpack and Dynamite Grenades. The Crisper or Grenade Pistol are good sidearms if you have them, but if you don't have Freedom's Flame or Democratic Detonation, feel free to use the Redeemer. It's certainly not the best sidearm, but against the bugs, it can definitely help you in tight moments. You can also take the 500 kg for bug hives and the orbital gas strike for crowds and bug breaches. For squids, if you have good aim on harvesters, this can kill them in one shot. But when I say good aim, I mean really good aim. It's not really useful against any other enemy type, and even against harvesters, it's kind of a stretch since they move so frequently. I highly recommend taking something else that has more ammo and a high fire rate, like the machine gun support weapon. Now for bots, this is where I believe the railgun shines. Even in save mode, the railgun is useful against enemies like Devastators, Hulks, and Rocket Striders. But against heavier units, all it takes is one well-placed charged shot to kill something like a War Strider. Sure, it's a bit hard, but if done right, it feels so satisfying.
How did you get through that? How?
Pair this weapon with something like a solo silo for the occasional factory strider and a guard dog backpack, and you will feel unstoppable. I recommend taking something like the Scorcher as your primary, and Grenade Pistol or Dynamites for fabricators. In a pinch, the Railgun is great at dealing with the chin guns for factory striders, preventing them from easily killing you. And lastly, I usually take the Eagle Strafing Run. I kinda have a personal connection to this stratagem, even though it's a meta option, but this is my favorite stratagem in the entire game because it's based off of an A10 Warthog Strafing Run, which is pretty cool because my grandpa worked on the A10 Warthog. It's capable of destroying fabricators and even entire patrols if you get lucky hits. But anyways, that's all I have to say about the Railgun in Helldivers 2. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. It helps a ton, and it means a lot.